6 hours. That's all Kafei and Anju have left before the moon obliterates everything they've ever known. But they're not running. They're not hiding. They're waiting together in a small room at the Stockpot Inn, hands clasped, ready to greet the morning, even if morning never comes. This is just one untold story among hundreds scattered across Hyrule's history, tales of ordinary people who became extraordinary simply by refusing to give up. Link may save the world, but these forgotten heroes save what makes the world worth saving. The Legend of Zelda series has always been about epic adventures, but hidden beneath the surface of every grand quest lies a network of lives, hopes, and struggles that give these worlds their soul. While Link battles demons and Zelda guards sacred powers, countless others face their own darkness with nothing but courage and determination. These are the characters players remember long after defeating the final boss, the ones who prove that heroism doesn't require a master sword or royal blood, just an unshakable heart. Consider the tragedy and triumph of Kafei and Anju from Majora's Mask. Anju was a kind-hearted inn worker at the Stockpot Inn in East Clocktown, engaged to Kafei. Kafei, tragically transformed into a child by the mischievous school kid, has his ceremonial sun mask stolen by the notorious thief Sakon, forcing him into hiding as he attempts to reclaim his mask and his adult form. Their quest is the longest side quest in Majora's Mask, spanning all 3 days and including various characters. Kafei was actually an adult, but the school kid turned him into a kid, and the prancing man from North Clocktown stole his wedding mask. Despite this double catastrophe, Kafei never stops fighting to return to his beloved. The quest's complexity mirrors the depth of their devotion. Players must deliver letters, retrieve pendants, infiltrate thieves' hideouts, and coordinate across multiple timelines. Kafei gives Link the Pendant of Memories to convince Anju to stay in town and wait for him rather than flee to safety. This single object represents everything: trust, hope, and love strong enough to face apocalypse. At 4:30 a.m. on the final day, Kafei finally arrives at the Stockpot Inn. The two engaged characters hug each other and then exchange masks: the Sun Mask and Moon's Mask, which magically merge to become the couple's mask. With less than an hour until the moon crashes into Clocktown, reunited, Anju and Kafei wait for the morning together. Director Eiji Onanuma revealed in interviews that the wedding between Anju and Kafei was first conceived after members of the Majora's Mask development team attended a wedding of a staff members shortly after Ocarina of Time's release during a North Korean missile test. Onanuma discussed how strange it was to attend a wedding when missiles may strike, and this prompted him to think it would be interesting to include a wedding in the game. Onanuma noted that he designed the side quest to be complicated to age up the themes and provide a slightly more adult-feeling drama moment, accounting for the fact that their target audience was slightly older now and aiming it towards adults. The result is perhaps gaming's most emotionally resonant love story, proving that the greatest adventures aren't always about saving the world. Sometimes they're about choosing to face the end with the person who matters most. Then there's the Happy Mask Salesman, a character who defies simple categorization. Prior to the events of Majora's Mask, but before Ocarina of Time, he was traveling through the woods in search for new masks when he was ambushed and knocked out by the Skull Kid and his two fairy friends, Tattle and Tael. While unconscious, the imps stole the notorious Majora's Mask from his bag. This theft sets the entire game's events in motion, yet the Happy Mask Salesman remains one of gaming's greatest enigmas. The mask salesman's real name is unknown, and much of him is a total mystery. He has a very unpredictable personality, and will go from happy to extremely angry in seconds. He also seems to have some magic abilities, as is shown in Majora's Mask when he makes an organ appear and then plays the magical Song of Healing. The Song of Healing is a melody that heals troubled spirits and turns them into masks. This power alone suggests the Happy Mask Salesman possesses knowledge far beyond that of a simple merchant. The Happy Mask Salesman has bizarre and godlike powers in Majora's Mask which go entirely unexplained. His animations are unnervingly jerky and skip frames in a way not demonstrated by a Zelda character before. While Link is inside the clock tower with him, time does not pass and the game's ever-present clock entirely disappears. Even more mysteriously, upon asking Link to find Majora's Mask, the Happy Mask Salesman says, "What? Is that not a simple task? Why, to someone like you, it should by no means be a difficult task." Without having apparent reason to know Link has abilities beyond his possession of a sword and shield. He shouldn't know that Link is the hero of time, yet somehow he does. On his travels to find strange and powerful masks, the Happy Mask salesman managed to obtain the legendary Majora's Mask, going to great lengths to retrieve it, though the details of which are not revealed. After the final battle at the end of the game, the salesman's dialogue seems to indicate that he is disappointed the mask lost its power, and he never fully reveals his plans. Is he a guardian, a collector with good intentions, something more sinister? The game never provides definitive answers, and that ambiguity makes him fascinating. What's certain is that without his intervention, teaching Link the Song of Healing and setting him on the path to stop Majora, Termina would have been destroyed. Then there's Beetle, who appears across 7 different Zelda games, making him one of the most consistent recurring characters in the entire series. Beetle is a recurring character with appearances in 7 games: The Wind Waker, The Minish Cap, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom.
He is a small-time businessman who can be encountered at his shops, which vary between games. In The Wind Waker, Beetle is a local sea merchant who travels the Great Sea in search of profit, located in Beetle's shop ship, a floating shop located near various islands of the Great Sea. Unlike other entrepreneurs in the Legend of Zelda series, Beetle incorporates memberships into some of his businesses, rewarding Link with discounts if he becomes a frequent customer. Prior to Breath of the Wild, which has an uncharacteristic amount of voice acting for the series, Beetle was one of the few Zelda characters to regularly have rudimentary vocal cues, including greeting Link, bidding him farewell, and offering an emphatic thank you whenever a sale is made. His cheerful, "Oh!" greeting and enthusiastic thank you became iconic elements of his character. In Skyward Sword, Beetle appears again, this time selling wares in a flying house, Beetle's Air Shop, which operates by pedaling a bicycle which powers an electric generator that drives some gears. If Link enters the shop and makes to leave again without buying anything available, an enraged Beetle will scold him for wasting his energy and drop him out of a trapdoor. Behind his perpetual smile lies a businessman who takes his work seriously. In Breath of the Wild, Beetle can be found in or near every stable in Hyrule, though he may appear in other places such as Karakara Bazaar. Unlike other traveling merchants, Beetle doesn't go very far and always returns to a safe place at night. He's often surprised to see Link in the same area, even accusing him of being his stalker, and tells him he has to stop following him around. But immediately afterwards he takes it back, saying he loves the attention. What makes Beetle remarkable isn't supernatural power or tragic backstory, it's dedication. Across timelines, across different incarnations of Hyrule itself, someone named Beetle is always there, backpack full of goods, ready to help adventurers on their journey. That consistency, that reliability makes him a hero in his own quiet way. Then there's Malon, the voice of Lon Lon Ranch. In Ocarina of Time, Malon is a young, cheerful girl who loves to sing outside Hyrule Castle's walls at night, and along with Ingo takes care of most of the duties at Lon Lon Ranch due to her father's laziness. It is mentioned in Ocarina of Time that Epona's song was composed by Malon's mother. When Link visits the ranch, Malon teaches him Epona's song on the ocarina, and when he plays this, the usually shy horse Epona rushes to Link. This simple act of kindness creates one of gaming's most iconic partnerships. Without Malon's trust and willingness to share her mother's song, Link would never have bonded with Epona, never gained the speed needed to cross Hyrule Field efficiently, never completed his quest. When Link returns 7 years later, he discovers that the ranch has been taken over by Ingo, and Malon is being forced to work at the ranch lest Ingo punish the horses. Despite being trapped, despite the danger, Malon refuses to abandon the animals she loves. Link eventually beats Ingo in a horse race, and he returns to normal. Talon moves back to the ranch. According to a gossip stone in Ocarina of Time, Malon of Lon Lon Ranch hopes a knight in shining armor will come and sweep her off her feet someday. While the games never explicitly confirm her romantic fate, there's persistent fan speculation about her connection to Link. In the Hyrule Historia, it is confirmed that the hero shade is the Link from Ocarina of Time and the ancestor of Link and Twilight Princess. Many fans take the fact that Link is a rancher in Twilight Princess to support the theory that he descended from Malon, though this has never been officially confirmed by Nintendo. What can be confirmed is that Malon's synthesized singing voice can be heard in the Hyrule Field night theme from Twilight Princess, a callback to Ocarina of Time. Her song, Her Memory, echoes through time itself, suggesting her impact extended far beyond her own era. Malon represents countless people who maintain the infrastructure of civilization while heroes quest. She tends animals, maintains the ranch, preserves her mother's legacy through song, and never loses faith even when darkness threatens everything. That's heroism without fanfare, courage without recognition. These characters share common threads. They face impossible circumstances with limited resources. They make sacrifices for others. They endure when giving up would be easier. Most importantly, they prove that everyone has a role to play in the fight against darkness. The Happy Mask Salesman's mysterious knowledge helps set Link on the right path. Beetle's persistent presence across timelines ensures adventurers always have supplies when needed. Malon's trust in a young forest boy gives him the companionship of Epona. Kafei and Anju's refusal to let darkness steal their joy reminds players what Link is fighting to preserve. Not just physical lives, but love, hope, and human connection. The Zelda series excels at this layered storytelling. The main quest provides epic scope, but these side characters provide emotional depth. Players remember defeating Ganon, but they also remember the quiet moment when Anju and Kafei finally reunite, or the first time Epona responds to her song, or Beetle's cheerful greeting after a difficult dungeon. These forgotten heroes also serve a crucial narrative function. They make Hyrule feel lived in and real. A world populated only by warriors and sages would feel empty. But a world with ranchers, merchants, innkeepers, and star-crossed lovers trying to marry before the apocalypse feels authentic. These characters have hopes, dreams, and problems that exist independent of Link's quest, making the world worth saving rather than just a backdrop for heroic deeds. Consider how different Majora's Mask would feel without Anju and Kafei's quest. The moon would still be falling. Link would still need to collect masks and free the 4 giants. But the emotional weight, the sense that real people with real lives are about to be destroyed, would be diminished. Their story transforms an apocalypse into something personal, making players care not just about stopping the moon, but about ensuring these 2 people get their happy ending. Similarly, imagine traversing the Great Sea in Wind Waker without ever encountering Beetle's cheerful shop ship.
The mechanical aspects of buying and selling items would remain, but the personality, the feeling of a living world with recurring characters building relationships across the adventure, would be lost. Beetle's consistency across multiple encounters creates narrative continuity that makes the world feel coherent and inhabited. The Happy Mask Salesman demonstrates how a mysterious figure can enhance rather than detract from a story by remaining unexplained. Not every character needs complete backstory. Sometimes ambiguity serves the narrative better than exposition. The salesman's unclear motives and unexplained powers make him intriguing, and his brief appearances carry more weight because players never quite understand who or what he truly represents. These design choices reveal Nintendo's understanding that great games need more than great gameplay. They need characters players remember, moments that resonate emotionally, and stories that elevate mechanics into meaning. The Forgotten Heroes of Hyrule accomplish this by being flawed, vulnerable, and distinctly human even in a fantasy world filled with magic and monsters. There's also something profound about how these characters handle adversity. Kafei could have fled Termina to escape the moon. Malon could have abandoned the ranch when Ingo took over. Beetle could have closed up shop when danger threatened. The Happy Mask Salesman could have kept Majora's Mask for himself rather than enlisting Link's help to retrieve it, but none of them took the easy path. Their choices matter because they're made without prophecy, without destiny, without sacred powers compelling them forward.
They choose courage when courage is difficult. They choose hope when hope seems foolish. They choose to care about others even when self-preservation would be simpler. That's the essence of heroism, not supernatural ability, but the decision to keep trying when quitting would hurt less. The Zelda series understands that different types of heroism exist. Link's heroism involves combat, puzzle solving, and world saving, but Anju's heroism involves waiting faithfully despite not knowing if Kafei will return. Malon's heroism involves maintaining compassion toward animals when their caretaker has turned cruel. Beetle's heroism involves providing consistent service across dangerous lands where most merchants wouldn't dare venture. The Happy Mask Salesman's heroism involves entrusting a child with knowledge of cosmic dangers and hoping he's strong enough to prevail. These forgotten heroes also highlight something often overlooked in heroic narratives: the importance of community. Link cannot complete his quests alone. He needs Malon to teach him Epona's song. He needs Beetle to sell him supplies. He needs the Happy Mask Salesman to teach him the song of healing. He needs countless others providing information, opening doors, creating opportunities. Heroism is rarely solitary. Even the chosen one with the Master Sword requires a network of people making smaller but equally necessary contributions. The Forgotten Heroes remind players that everyone has something to offer, that significance isn't measured solely by final blows against ultimate evil, but by accumulated acts of kindness, courage, and determination that make those final blows possible. This understanding enriches the entire Zelda experience. Rather than reducing non-playable characters to quest givers or vendors, the series treats them as people with their own stories, their own struggles, their own forms of heroism. They're not just supporting Link's narrative, they have narratives worth caring about independently. The emotional impact of these characters persists long after their games conclude. Players carry memories of Anju and Kafei's reunion, of Malon's singing in the moonlight, of Beetle's enthusiasm, of the Happy Mask Salesman's unsettling smile and mysterious knowledge. These moments prove that the most memorable gaming experiences often come not from combat or puzzles, but from connection, to characters who feel real, to stories that feel meaningful, to worlds that feel alive. As the Zelda series continues evolving, these forgotten heroes establish precedents for how games can tell multiple stories simultaneously. The epic quest and the personal journey, the world-shaking adventure and the intimate moment, the chosen one's destiny and the ordinary person's choice to be extraordinary. Every character matters. Every story adds depth. Every act of courage, regardless of scale, contributes to something larger. The next time players boot up a Zelda game, perhaps they'll notice these forgotten heroes differently. Not as background characters or optional content, but as essential elements of what makes Hyrule worth protecting. Link may wield the Master Sword, but Anju wields patience, Kafei wields determination, Malon wields compassion, Beetle wields consistency, and the Happy Mask Salesman wields knowledge. Together, they create a world where heroism takes many forms and everyone has the potential to matter. These are the untold stories of Hyrule's forgotten heroes, the ones who prove that saving the world isn't the only form of heroism, and sometimes the greatest adventures are the ones that happen between the beats of the main quest. They're the reason players return to these games again and again, not just to defeat Ganon one more time, but to visit old friends, to witness small miracles, and to remember that courage comes in many forms. Heroism wears many faces, and everyone's story deserves to be told.